GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. It measures a nation's output in terms of goods and services. It is the value of all the goods and services produced by a country during a given period, including the value of cars manufactured, food harvested, houses built, students taught at school, meals served at restaurants, and the hundreds of thousands of other items manufactured and services provided in a given country. Importantly, GDP doesn't measure how many things are produced, but the value produced in terms of dollars or another currency. Producing one high dollar value item can have the same impact on GDP as producing 10 low dollar value items. So what causes economic output or GDP to grow over time? Let's answer that by looking at a simple example. If you ran a bakery and got up early each day to bake loaves of bread to sell, what would it take to increase production from 20 loaves of bread to 25, assuming you were already working as your hardest? Well, one thing you could do, you can employ a helper to help you bake bread, or you could go buy some time-saving equipment, such as bigger oven or mixer, or finding a way to work smarter, perhaps by improving your dough rolling technique. That would help you to be more productive. So in other words, a bakery output increases if the population of baker increases or the baker productivity increases. The same works with the economy. Across all the economy, businesses, if they hire more workers, they can produce more. If they become more efficient at producing workers through technology, then they can produce more, and that allows the economy to grow. So given world population has grown over time and workers are becoming more productive, the global economy has grown 54 out of the past 55 years. The only exception was during the global recession of 2008. A recession is when a nation output shrinks, when they produce less goods and services from one period to the next, usually because there are less workers and unemployment increases. But why would a nation decrease its output? For the same reason a baker might bake fewer loaves of bread. She doesn't think she'll be able to sell them, so she won't produce as many. Or what she might do is actually reduce the cost or reduce the price of the bread, hoping that she'll be able to sell the same amount of loaves. But if all the businesses start lowering their prices, that can lead to what is called deflation, falling prices. And if all the businesses start producing less, that is what leads to a recession. Now, the opposite of this deflation or falling prices is inflation. That's a period of rising prices. And there's a way that we can get inflation, and that's through a force in the economy that influences GDP growth, and that force is debt. The baker could borrow money to buy a bigger oven to boost her productivity. Instead of saving up her profit, she could just go out and borrow it. And that, taking on that debt, that loan accelerates a future purchase into the present. Debt's like a time machine in the way it can shift future money into the present. So when a nation's businesses and households increase their debt levels, it increases both the purchasing power and the supply of money in the economy. That increased purchasing power due to debt encourages businesses to increase their output of goods and services. High debt level can lead to higher economic growth or GDP growth because businesses see the increased demand because households have more money now, so they might increase their output, and that can lead to higher GDP growth. But at the same time, we could get to a point where debt gets excessive, and that increased purchasing power and new money supply can outstrip a nation's ability to produce new goods and services. There's just more money chasing a set amount of goods and services, and that money could be increasing faster than the amount of goods and services produced, and that can lead to rising prices or inflation. Alternatively, if a nation's businesses and households decide to focus on paying down debt, a period of deleveraging can start, and that reduces demand for goods and services, which can cause businesses to either decrease their output or slow the pace of output growth, and that can lead to a recession. Hey, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button at the bottom of the video and click the bell, and you'll be notified the next time I put a video up.